China is different from other countries in the world in defining towns. In China, some look like modern cities, some look like tourist attractions, and others are featured with the village scene. In the film, we will introduce several Chinese-style small towns, as well as people living there to you. Let's share what we have heard and seen in Chinese towns. In this episode, we will go to the Pearl River Delta and the Yangtze River Delta, two forefront areas of Chinese economy, to visit four small towns: Wanchai, Tangjiawan, Keqiao, and Puyuan, where people used to live a poor life. We will find out how these four towns have been evolved into modern city-like towns. Let's first visit Wanchai, a town located at the west bank of the Pearl River estuary and the southern end of Zhuhai Special Economic Zone. "30 years ago, Wanchai was a backward fishing village where people lived by fishing and planting flowers. This village faces Macau across the sea. In the 1970s, villagers used to look at skyscrapers in Macau with great admiration. In 1980, China carried out its reform and opening up policy. The South China Sea coastal area, including Wanchai, became China's first place to open up to the outside world. With policies becoming flexible, people were allowed to travel between Macau and Wanchai each day. Some women made a living by selling flowers. They were dubbed as a pleasant name of Huapo, meaning women flower sellers. Nevertheless, they hardly lived an easy life.
半夜11点就起来拿货，拿货他们有些货早一点来了嘛，好像那个姜花呀，又11点弄起来拿了。那个广州货呢就没有那么早，你不早起床没有的吗？
It was tough at those days when we needed to work from dawn to night, but it was worthwhile because we made money. However, besides selling flowers, now we can make money by other methods at Wanchai.
那么当时有一些三来一补的企业过来，那么随着这个经济特区的设立，一些改革开放政策的引进，那么我们澳门这边的一些这个渔民啊，那些我们的花农们呐，都可以到澳门去，这个卖花，那么这逐渐呢就是积累了一些经哈。
The so-called 3+1 trading mix refers to the operation model adopted by enterprises in the Pearl River Delta in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Literally, it means custom manufacturing with materials, designs, or samples by the customer, and compensation trade. They are now not in the spotlight to many people, but those small labor-intensive enterprises used to be the engines for the development of many towns.
因为对外改革开放，当时珠江三角洲搞这个三来一补，一些中小企业很快的就是在珠江三角洲那边发展起来，一些产业很快在一些这个乡村，包括一部分村都这个发展起来，那么后来形成了一些镇的发展的一个产业的基础。
Thanks to the development of township enterprises, we have accumulated funds and attracted labor force, which in turn trigger the development of the service sector and infrastructure construction sector. Thus, Chinese small towns came into being along the coast of the South China Sea. Just as the town of Wanchai gained a new life, a Chinese scholar put forward the topic of small town big issue. On September 21, 1983, the sociologist Fei Xiaotong delivered a speech at the Research Forum of Small Towns in Jiangsu Province in Nanjing. His speech aroused the wide concern of the participants. He said the direction of China's development is in rural areas. The way out for the issues concerning farmer and agriculture is to accelerate the development of small towns and better play its radiation and guidance role.
就当时就提出小城镇在带动乡村的发展，就是和现代的工业化衔接和现代化衔接起着一个这个非常重要的作用。这个呢是也引起了这个政府的一些高度重视。
Fei Xiaotong did field researches for several decades in Chinese rural areas. Therefore, his suggestion was in line with China's national conditions. China is a traditional agricultural country with a large population. Farmers used to account for over 60% of total population. There are large differences between urban and rural areas. How to absorb surplus labor forces in rural areas and improve the living conditions of farmers has become one of the major issues in the course of carrying out the reform and opening up policies in China. However, because of limited land in China, it is clearly not feasible to introduce the urbanization of the West to China.
比方说进城，大家都想进城，而且大家都想进北京、上海那个特大城市。特大城市它有资源承载啊、管理范围啊什么各种各样的一些问题，是吧？那么如果大家都想进大城市的话呢，也可能会造成大城市压力过大。
就是不可能所有人口都拥挤到北京、上海。我们不能想在北京、上海建立贫民区，它肯定要在城乡结合部的小城镇形成农民工的聚集区。
The Chinese government has increasingly attached importance to the development of small towns since the 1980s. In 1998, it first put forward the concept of small town big strategy.
最主要的目的就是把城镇化进程和农村的发展结合在一起，就通过城镇化、农村人口转移实现什么呢？叫减少农民才能富裕农民。
因为小城镇呢，它是有个布点比较均匀的，它分布啊，就是这个东南西北分布啊，哪都有。那么小城镇发展的话呢，可以在人口的布局上来说呢，也相对的可以解决一个平衡发展问题。
For decades, it is the first-hand information from the non-government sector that truly motives the Chinese government to implement the strategy of small towns. Areas in the front line of China's reform and opening up have changed very quickly. People living in Wanchai own their first pot of gold by working hard. Gradually, the initial penny ante businesses and small enterprises evolved into a large-scale market. The husbands of Huapo, women flower sellers, made a better living as well. The days when they went fishing in the sea and earned little money had gone forever. After seafood trade markets were established, they have actively participated in the market economy. With money at hand, they will naturally improve living conditions. People at Wanchai began to have the old town transformed in the 1990s. They established infrastructure and supporting municipal facilities. Leisure squares, large-scale communities, as well as entertainment and shopping centers have sprung up at Wanchai. Zhang Xiaorong, a woman flower seller at Wanchai, and her family are leading a comfortable life. The economic conditions of her family are above average at Wanchai. They built their own villa. After her husband retired, who used to be a civil servant, he wanted to live a happy life in the rest of his life. He persuaded Zhang to retire as well.
天到晚都是我一个人，他去卖花，下午才回来。我讲啊，你一定你不要卖到年底了，我马上现在退休了。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。
Now Zhang is a member of an amateur dance team. Time permitted, she would like to dance with other team members. The change of her family's life can be described as a microcosm of Wanchai. Men and women at Wanchai only spent a decade in building their hometown into China's first town generating a fiscal income of 100 million RMB. Naturally, they have gotten rid of poverty. Tongjiwen, not far from Wanchai, is not so lucky. Before China carried out the reform and opening up policy, Tongjiwen was only a small border town at the Pearl River Delta. It was also a quiet fishing village where people are proud of its glorious history.
在20世纪，就上个世纪啊，这个初啊，就是清朝末年、民国初年的时候呢，这个正好是这个风起云涌的年代之后呢，唐家湾的大批人员呢，到海外去求学啊，海外求学那个融入了当时洋务运动的这个高潮里面。那么出了很多中国近代史上名人，比如说像洋务运动这个发起人啊，唐廷枢啊，他是天津的开朗煤矿，他是创始人来着。那么民国的第一任总理啊是唐绍仪，那么清华大学的第一任校长唐国安，都是我们唐家湾镇的地的人员。
The brilliant past did not bring a better life for people at Tongjiwen with certainty. After its neighbor village, Wanchai, was well developed, people at Tongjiwen grasped another opportunity to become rich. The opportunity was to provide high-end services for Hong Kong and Macau.
84年建了这国际高尔夫球场，如果是出去香港、澳门的，可能是大陆还是第一个了。第一个，那时候高尔夫还没有听说过。
Even if Dong'an villagers got little understanding of golf, they decided to set aside a piece of land covering 2,200 mu to build a golf course, thus completing something beyond their imagination. To them, doing so can be viewed as a brave move. If given the importance of land to farmers, without land, it is hard for farmers to survive. However, the story of the Dong'an village was not a special case. In the early history of the development of Chinese small towns, how to use land was a crucial factor. This was also determined by China's unique conditions.
因为中国的土地就两种，一种是国有制，一种是农民集体所有制。 那么改革开放这么多年呢，可以说就是城市的发展呢，大量的依赖了廉价的征用或者低价的征用农民的土地，实际上在某种程度上也是对农民的一种剥夺吧，换取了城市发展的基础设施，换取了城市发展的资金。
Albeit farmers lost the land use rights, they obtained a chance to change their destiny. Before building the golf course, the village committee of the Dong'an village took the initiative to contact the person in charge of the investment, asking him to offer technical training to local farmers. After farmers mastered the skills of labor, they would have the ability to solve the problem of employment after losing their land. Since the court was officially put in use in May 1985, over half of its employees have been local farmers. After they became employees under the contract, farmers said goodbye to the lifestyle of cultivating the land generations after generations. So far, among the first batch of farmers working at the court, over 10 individuals have retired under the contract.
在这里退休了，在这里退休了，就享受城市那个退休的待遇了。城市的高的1000多，高的1000多，一个月1000多了。
Retirement income is only part of their income. Villagers of the Dong'an village can earn the larger part of income out of their shares of the court. They could not give up the land use rights for nothing. Instead, they own shares according to their original land and could earn dividends each year. The managers of the court use land resources to build lands for rent or rent the land directly, thus generating an annual income of 2 to 3 million RMB.
现在人均收入超过4000了，每个人的就是每年呢，这个股份分红呢，就是600到800左右，这是每个股民了。如果是老人的，就刚才说了，有60块一个月，那就是一年又多了720。
In addition to dividends, some families will earn more money after young people go out and find a job. Taking into account this part of income, the annual per capita income can reach 7,000 to 8,000 RMB. Now we come to Kechao, a town in the city of Shaoxing, Zhejiang province. The town has been a transportation hub since ancient times. It has also been one of the regions where the cultivation of rice and the breeding of fish flourish.
我们原来也叫做金科桥，为什么叫金科桥？因为它是流经之地，这里面是一个财富比较拮据的，也能够应该发家致富的一个地方。那么因为它这里交通发达，水路、这个铁路、公路都是3路汇聚之地，所以这是一个流经之地。
In the context of the reform and opening up policy, it is natural that such a golden land should attract a lot of people with dreams of seeking wealth.
然后这个整个大的菱形做到下面来，往这个放上去一点，是的好一点，就是18组，就是整个四面墙嘛。
In 1989, Wang Jinting, a native of Wenzhou, came to Kechao. More than 10 people from his clan followed him.
整个四面墙嘛。
Wang once more did business in Beijing. Albeit he did not get great economic benefits in Beijing, he had a deep insight into the business world. Nevertheless, when he arrived at Kechao, Wang encountered a worse entrepreneurial environment than the current environment.
那个面积可能就20多平方吧，就是前面搞一个煤气灶后面隔一块板就是我们整个公司所有的人员其实。
Wang Jinting was mainly engaged in the textile trade. Textile manufacture used to be a traditional industry at Kechao. After China implemented the reform and opening up policy, more and more people of Kechao did textile business. At first, textile plants were just family-owned businesses with small scales and single production structure. They would sell textile goods at shopping malls across the country. As the businesses were of small scale, they only brought small profits for the first batch of entrepreneurs each time. Despite this fact, they did accumulate their original funds.
那么改革开放以后，在党的政策的鼓舞下，我们村村、乡乡镇镇都办纺织企业。那么当时催生了我们现在成为全国最大的一个纺织产业集中地的一个基础。那么当时绍兴县纺织业的发展以后，就是慢慢的这个柯桥形成了一个布匹的这个切散中心。
Smart people found opportunities in the market-oriented economy. They valued economy of scale. Today, Wang Jinting is not a small businessman anymore. The total assets of his trade company is about 100 million RMB. His trade partners come from around the world. The town of Puyuan, not far from Keqiao, almost experienced the same development model. Puyuan is well known as the original place of Chinese Pu silk. In ancient times, there was a national silk market.
这历史上呢，有那个织绸的习惯。 那时候17万匹绸，家家户户都织绸。这个小巷里面、小街道上面，到深更半夜，都是家家寄书生。
After the liberation, the sound of weaving machines subsided temporarily. The textile industry, which used to be meal ticket for people at Puyuan for generations, suffered setbacks and almost stood at a standstill. However, the internal energy has never disappeared. In 1976, a collective enterprise purchased 3 sets of hand-driven flat knitting machines, weaved the first piece of sweater at Puyuan, and got returns very quickly. People at Puyuan were familiar with the manufacturing sector because it was the tradition of this town. Inspired by the success of the collective enterprise, every family at Puyuan bought rolling machines and followed the enterprise.
你挣的钱多了，这个看得到的钱，看得到的物质利益。 谁不做？大家做。这你做的羊毛跟我做的羊毛，这叫比较，哪些方面改进，哪些方面提高。哎呀，这个风气那时候，从来没有的，以前从来没有。
In 1988, the sweater market of Puyuan reached a certain scale. The trend of running sweater factories began to radiate to the surrounding countryside. Chen Jiangang used to be a farmer. In the great tide of making fortune, he was forced to be a bricklayer because he had no other special skills. Immediately, he happened to find a spare loom at his aunt's. Chen decided to make good use of it.
姑妈帮助我借了几千块钱，那么我第一次是买了香纱，香纱通过织完之后，1个礼拜下来，卖掉除去成本、抛弃成本之后，赚了有300多块钱。
In 1988, Chen started his business with only 1 loom. By 2005, he had changed the location of his sweater factory for 7 times as the scale of the factory expanded. Nevertheless, he has never forgotten the excitement when he earned 300 RMB for the first time. There are countless small towns like Puyuan and Keqiao in the Yangtze River Delta region. The prosperity of the region has benefited from the founding of many small businesses more than 20 years ago.
这些乡镇企业呢，实际上它也是形成了人员的集聚，最后这个培育了小城镇发展的基础，形成了一个苏南一批小城镇发展的一个良好的一个产业的环境。
Nevertheless, after those small towns were formed, people soon found out that there was a serious shortcoming in the industrial layout. In 1990, Ge Jianlin was the party branch secretary of Rongyi village. He was reluctant to find that although people at Puyuan had been engaged in sweater processing industry for several years, they had to turn to street vendors to sell finished products.
都是这样自产自销，那么就是要发展的发展不起来。我看着这个情况之后呢，那么也有我们村里也有住几个羊毛衫的老板来找我，因为书记了啊，找我们叫我要摆个市场，啊，不能这样在街上摆摊啊，这个不行的。
A good idea occurred to Ge Jianlin. If the village set aside a piece of land with a good location to build a retail outlet, it would benefit all three parties: the villagers, the bosses, and the village committee. It would achieve many things at one stroke. Ge Jianlin's first move was to tear down his own office. Then he got the land use rights of a piece of land covering 6 mu. He initiated the first phase of the project in 1990. Just 2 years later, the situation was different.
我记得在92年了，基本上这个几千家门市部一起上2000多家了，一起建起来。当时建起来的时候呢，刚建的时候呢，我在画这个图纸啊，这个包括这个地方画图纸，一路画图纸，他们一路这个门市部抢购了，钱先收购了，我们房子再造起来，造起给他，就这么一个气势这么好了。
20 years ago, the sweater industry at Puyuan started in the form of small individual workshops. Now, Puyuan has become China's largest sweater distribution center. Meanwhile, the town of Puyuan has developed itself. Now it is one of the star towns in China. In the 1990s, China experienced a golden era of market-oriented economies development. Almost at the same time, around 1990, township enterprises at Keqiao were updated, making the town become an industrial cluster center. Today's Keqiao has been dubbed as China's light textile city. Among over 1,000 listed companies in China, China's light textile city is one of them. Just like Puyuan, Keqiao carried out its town construction and economic development simultaneously. Driven by a certain industry, more and more people lived at small towns. It becomes the standard model of development at the first batch of small towns.
现代的产业啊，它要求有一定的集聚，有这个工业集聚，形成了大量的工业人口，然后相应的产生了一些服务业，也就我们像这个什么商业啊、金融啊、保险呀，是吧？生活设施服务啊、物流啊、生产这个服务的这一些产业，全部都集聚在一起。这样的大量人口集聚在一起，那么就形成了一个城。
Today's Keqiao, Puyuan, and Wanchai do not look like small towns. Instead, they are truly modern cities. Nevertheless, Chinese people are still accustomed to call them towns.
所以我在经常跟老外打交道的时候，他们很概念很好，就是说这怎么叫镇呢？这应该是城市。但是中国的镇呢，它来源于我们传统的一个对镇的认定，那是在50年代、60年代对镇的认定。所以这个镇呢， 它后来人口聚集了，它发展壮大了，但是它的行政等级呢，它是仍然叫镇。这个镇和世界镇有很大区别。我们的绝大部分小城镇实际上在国外都是城市，实际上它已经进入了一个城市发展的时期，这就是中国式的小城镇。
Here is an ancient town in Sichuan province called Luodai. It seems more in line with people's impression of the town concept. Located in China's western region, Luodai is far from economic centers and ports. In history, it has no industrial advantage either, thus unable to copy the development model of small towns in coastal areas. Luodai residents have to refine their own opportunities. But where are their opportunities? In the next episode, we will go to China's western region to find the answer to the following question: how do Luodai residents build their own small towns?